This is a video about how to improve your composition and creativity of your digital mandala through these three suggestions. So if we look at this digital mandala that I have here, I am checking all of the boxes, besides maybe digital craftsmanship, because this guy is kind of weirdly placed. That's better. I have my slices created. I have kind of this radial balance. I've considered color. I'm using color well. My digital craftsmanship is pretty good, with the exception of maybe I could improve it a little bit. Is it the most creative? No. Is it the most exciting? No. Compositionally, it's good, but it's kind of not great. If we go back and we look at our kind of professional internet examples, these ones just kind of have some oomph that my kind of first starting composition do not have. So let's talk about what those things are. So first things first, with this one here, with all of our different beetles, this one is really interesting compositionally and then a little bit more creative because we have varying size differences. So they have included some really large elements, some medium elements, and then much smaller elements that just add to kind of the intricacy of this composition. So that is one thing that we can kind of change or add to our projects to help composition and creativity. This example here, ignore whatever's happening in the middle of this, but this also has kind of varying size differences of different elements. We see kind of some larger things, medium things, and smaller things. It's working. Now, the second thing that we can look for is overlapping. This example right here does a really great job of using elements that are overlapping with each other, which my example that I'm kind of working from does not have anything that is overlapping. Everything is kind of stuck on the page in its own place. Nothing is touching. Another example that uses overlapping would be like this example here with this, for this music festival or something, with our instruments that are overlapping in the center, which is an interesting concept. Now, our last kind of suggestion is clusters, which kind of goes hand in hand with overlapping, but clusters are the idea of kind of grouping things close together in proximity. So if we look at this example here, we've got this kind of very, very, very basic cluster of like this beetle with these longhorns and this kind of smaller beetle inside acting as its kind of own group. A more complex example of that would be like these here, how we've kind of put these into their almost own like island clusters. And then if we go back to this example here, we also have that kind of idea of grouping a couple of things together to make them into their own island cluster. So thinking about those three suggestions for improving your composition: overlapping, creating size differences, and clusters, it is your job to pick at least one of those things to use in your project to take it from kind of basic and checking all of the boxes to a little bit better. This was kind of my second attempt. I didn't love my slices on this one. They were kind of a little bit too rectangular, which left me with some kind of weird spacing. And then this was the final one that I decided that I kind of ended up loving. So I did lots of overlapping here in the middle. It kind of took these items and, in a sense, abstracted them. And then I also created some kind of smaller clusters of items within. And I thought that this kind of took my design from good to great. So those are your three suggestions for how to improve your composition.